And yet, despite all of this, I continue to fight back every day to rebuild myself.
20. Howard?
Need you to sign that one. Your Honor, this is Keenan T. Himes in the matter of 24 CR 142. We are passing forward a plea agreement. And subject to the court's approval, Mr. Himes would be entering a no contest plea to the amended charge of aggravated assault. That is a C felony. He will be sentenced to 6 years suspended. A condition of his probation shall be that he complete a psychosexual evaluation, follow the recommendations thereof, that he complete mandatory monthly drug screens, and there will be zero tolerance for any failed drug screens. He is to have no contact with Ms. Ashley Searcy, and this would run concurrent with
Lewis County.
Lewis County. Sorry, I didn't have that written on my copy. He does have credits from 7/1/25 to the present.
All right, Mr. Himes, raise your right hand. Let's place you under oath. State your full name for the record.
Keenan Travis Himes.
Mr. Himes, you're here today charged with, I think it's actually a charge of rape. And based on the agreement, it's being amended to aggravated assault. And you're being sentenced to 6 years that will be in the Department of Corrections suspended. But have you seen or been shown a copy of the charges and talked them over with Mr. Howard? You and he discussed the range of punishments you're facing as well as any possible defenses you might have.
Oh, yes, sir.
Well, it's indicated you want to enter a plea of nolo contendere or no contest. That simply means you understand what the state's evidence is. You're not going to admit you did anything wrong, but you're not going to contest the state's evidence when they tell me what their evidence is, and their evidence will be what I use to find you guilty. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Do you understand that you have the right, however, to plead not guilty and to have a speedy and public trial by jury?
Yes, sir.
Do you understand if you went to trial, you would have the right to have a lawyer and have one appointed, as we've done with the public defender?
Yes, sir.
You understand that if you went to trial, you'd be presumed to be innocent until such time, if ever, the state proved your guilt beyond a reasonable doubt to the satisfaction of all 12 jurors, and their verdict would have to be unanimous before you could be convicted of anything.
Yes, sir.
You understand that if you went to trial, you and your lawyer could confront and cross-examine every witness the state called to testify against you, and you could bring in your own witnesses by the use of a subpoena.
Yes, sir.
Do you understand that at trial you'd be presumed to be innocent? You would not have to testify or prove anything, and no inference of guilt would arise because you did not testify at your own trial.
Yes, sir.
You understand that if you went to trial and you were found guilty, you could appeal the conviction and the sentence imposed to the Court of Criminal Appeals and have a lawyer appointed to help you with that appeal.
Yes, sir.
You understand that by entering this plea, you're waiving your right to a trial and to an appeal. All I'm going to do is approve what your lawyer has worked out.
Yes, sir.
You understand, however, that it's going to result in a conviction, a felony conviction that will be on your record in the future to make more severe the punishment you'll receive if you're ever again convicted of a crime.
Yes, sir.
You understand everything I've explained to you?
Yes, sir.
Do you want to plead no contest according to this agreement and waive your right to a trial?
I do.
Is your decision to plead no contest today voluntary?
Yes, sir.
Anybody forcing you to do this against your will?
No.
You understand I cannot accept your pleas unless I'm satisfied there is a factual basis for it and that you are in fact guilty. In other words, I have to know that you're guilty before I can accept this. You understand that?
Yes, sir.
And I want you to listen as the state tells me what their evidence would be if your case went to trial. General?
If this case would proceed to trial, the proof would show that on or about February 24, 2025, Miss Ashley Searcy and her husband, Nicholas Searcy, hosted a small get-together with Marlena Bell and Keenan Himes. During this get-together, Ashley, Nicholas, and Marlena became extremely intoxicated. Keenan was also drinking, but it is unclear how intoxicated he was. Nicholas ended up passing out on the couch, and Marlena had been throwing up, so she went to the hall bathroom to take a shower and sober up. While Marlena was in the shower, Ashley also got sick and puked on the floor and was lying in it. When this happened, Keenan assisted Ashley to the master bath, got her naked, and placed her in the shower. Ashley said that she doesn't remember any of this, but when she woke up, Keenan was in the bathroom and that he had, with Keenan over top of her, digitally penetrating her vagina. Ashley told Keenan to stop, and he grabbed her by the legs and pulled her bottom half out of the shower, and then performed oral sex on her for an unknown amount of time before Ashley heard Marlena knocking on the door, yelling for Keenan. At that point, he stopped and opened the door. The victim continued to tell Keenan to stop, and he proceeded on. Judge, I have Miss Cersei here in the courtroom. She would like to have an opportunity to speak to the court and the defendant. I've went over the proof with the victim ad nauseum. We've talked about potential outcomes at trial. I suggested this potential settlement. Which the victim has the blessing of the victim in this case. Some important things to note about the sentence: it is mandatory in-person reporting, and aggravated assault, even though it's not checked on the plea form, aggravated assault is a 100% crime. That means if the defendant violates his probation and he's sentenced to serve, he's to serve 100% of those 6 years.
Right. Mr. Himes, do you understand that's what the state's evidence would be if this case went to trial?
Yes, sir.
You still wish to plead no contest to this charge?
I do.
Are you satisfied with your attorney's services?
I am.
You feel like Mr. Howard has done a good job of representing you competently?
I do.
Mr. Howard, do you know of any reason he should not enter the plea?
No, sir.
And I'm going to ask you and him to have a seat and allow me to hear from the victim in the case.
Morning, Your Honor. I want to first thank the courts, district attorney's office, and local law enforcement for handling this case with such respect and patience. Before this crime, my family and the defendant's family were extremely close. We spent many weekends together, celebrated our weddings together, and raised our children together. At the time, I truly had believed, knowing the defendant's checkered past, that he had turned his life around. But as the saying goes, a wolf can hide in sheep's clothing. What should have been a normal day spent with friends ended in ways I could not have imagined. While the defendant might be choosing to accept a lesser plea deal, I will never forget the atrocities he committed that day. He knows, I know, and God knows what he chose to do to me without my consent. Nothing in this world will ever erase that. That day he chose to take me out of the room, locking multiple doors behind us, showing his intent, showing he knew exactly what he was doing was wrong and that he didn't want to get caught. Although his excuse is that he was trying to help me, if that was the case, I would not have woken up naked, locked in a bathroom with him alone, waking up to him doing whatever he wanted to do to me. I was confined to a small space, too intoxicated to fight back, and completely vulnerable while he took advantage of me. I can still hear his voice telling me to be quiet and to not tell his wife, who at the time was my childhood best friend. Afterwards, I felt like I had been in a car wreck. My body bruised, sore, and violated. The image of seeing my own blood on my shower and the door to my bedroom will haunt me forever. Before this happened, I was a confident person. I like to think I wasn't afraid of anything and just lived in joy. But on that day, my peace, my sense of safety, and my sense of self was stolen from me. The physical bruises eventually healed, but the emotional and mental scars will remain. In the aftermath, I became severely depressed and suicidal. For months, I couldn't go out in public without my husband by my side. Terrified of strangers and disgusted with my distrust of everyone, constantly on edge. I felt disgusted in my own body, knowing that the only person I would ever allow to touch me in such a way was my husband. This crime damaged not only me, but the intimacy and peace within my marriage. Since then, I have been placed on antidepressants, anti-anxiety medications, received hospital care and therapy. I suffer with nightmares almost every night, reliving what happened. My husband had the idea to repaint our bathroom and redecorate it because I couldn't walk inside. I've recently changed jobs because working from home as a nurse no longer felt like a safe place. I've lost friends, trust, and the life I once knew. And yet, despite all of this, I continue to fight back every day to rebuild myself. I've reconnected with my faith in God. I've become a more watchful mother, and I work to turn my pain into prayer and service. My husband and I have committed ourselves to living sober and present, determined to protect our family from people like him. To the defendant, I want you to know I never was and never will be attracted to you or interested in you, despite the lies you have spewed. Your actions were not about desire or helping. They were about power, evil, and selfishness. You disgust me. I pray for you, not because you deserve it, but because I refuse to let your darkness live in my soul forever. I pray that one day you can atone for your sins and repent, because God is the ultimate judge, and he will hold you accountable. Maybe one day I will find the strength to forgive, not for you, but for me. But today is not that day. Today I sit here to make it clear. Don't you ever come near me or my family. Don't you ever try to contact us again. And I pray that you spend the rest of your life striving to never hurt anyone in such a way. Thank you.
Thank you. Ma'am, let me ask this one question. Mr. Brooks has discussed this with you, but you understand this is something that's being entered with your consent. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Fine. Thank you. Then you may sit down.
And your judge, can we make that statement a part of the court file?
Yes, we'll make it an exhibit. Thank you, ma'am. You can have a seat in the courtroom if you want. Anything further than Mr. Brooks?
No, Judge.
All right. Mr. Himes, come back to the podium. The only reason that I'm accepting this plea is because of the fact that the victim in the case is, Ms. Searcy has given her consent to it, and it spares her the pain of having to go through the trial. Otherwise, I would just simply reject it because, number one, this agreement keeps you off the sex offender registry, which in my opinion, you probably deserve to be on for the rest of your life. Second thing is that this will be a zero tolerance situation, and I don't want to have Ms. Searcy have to go through a trial and because of the fact of the circumstances under which it happened, you could get somebody on the jury that might, have a different version of the events because of the use of alcohol and so forth that was involved in it. But I don't know as much about these cases as your lawyer in the state knows. And so I usually consent to whatever the agreement is because they're the ones who have done the investigation and discovery. But I do know this, based on what Ms. Cersei has said, there are a few things that are more reprehensible than harming a child or sexual abuse of a woman, especially one who is incapacitated at that time. And for that reason, I want you to understand that I'll accept this plea because Ms. Cersei has consented to it. But that once I pronounce sentence, if you violate one single term, then you're going to go to jail and serve 6 years, not 6 years at 30%, 6 years at 100%. You understand that?
I do.
And then Keenan T. Himes, upon your plea of no contest, I find you guilty, sentence you to 6 years in the Tennessee Department of Corrections. As a condition of your probation, you are to undergo a psychosexual evaluation and follow any treatment recommendations. Also, as a condition of your probation, you must undergo monthly drug screens. It will be a zero tolerance for drugs, for a positive drug screen, one single positive drug screen, and you will go serve 6 years in prison at 100%. You're to have no contact with Ashley Cersei. All of your reporting will be required to be in person. This will be served concurrently with your Lewis County case. He needs to see the probation department.
Hey, thanks for watching. Please do let us know in the comments what you thought of this video. If you'd like to support what we do here, the best way to do it is to pick up some of our merch. You can find it at courtroomfiles.com.